Those crazy nights I do remember in my youth.
Welcome back. This is the New Inside of Great Outdoors. Well, finally, you got your head on straight.
I don't think I'd go that far.
What's that?
I don't think I'd go that far.
Oh, okay.
That's a reach, and we could tear muscles reaching. So,
Yeah.
so you gotta pace yourself, Yash.
Okay.
And I tell you, I was informed by a renegade fishing Irishman via textology that I was a topic of conversation earlier.
Oh yeah, the Pope brought you up. He was using your name in vain.
yes, and I'm really not worthy, but I'll take it. It's been an interesting moment or two. Us old guys recovering, but what else you got to do? So why don't we start the conversation off with, hey, greetings from Ice Station Zebra.
There you go.
Here we
Isn't
are.
it wonderful?
I'll tell you what. People are in a complete state of shock because we're actually having, for the first time in recent memory, a real winter.
That's right.
And we need it, actually, for things to be better
It's good
later
for
in
us.
the year. Bugs and just on and on. Plants and everything.
I'm reminded of certain things in even the bug world, entomology or whatever, bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Your yellow jacket, hornet, wasp populations. Queens burrow in and stay warm or stay surviving, and they've had a field day the last couple of winters. This deep reach cold that the incoming Polish vortex is going to give us can sometimes reach into some of those and kill them off to drop a population because it's just been everywhere you look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the summers, it's time to get eaten alive by these things.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah. You've got lake health, capping off the lake. Certain things occur. Getting the lake cold enough, it does the inversion. Top goes to bottom, bottom goes to top. We used to deal with that at the old power plant.
Yeah.
Colloidal silica would flip around because of that inversion. Certain different things. You guys know better than I do, but these were just things from memory that I was taught as a younger man, whatever the heck that is. And, it's a certain natural event of health for biology of our wild things.
Yeah. I know it was
unfortunately,
important to have, and I didn't realize what all is benefits from a normal winter like we're going to have or having.
Right. And then I was also taught in a time of drought, which we've come out of, ice capping off the evaporation rate of a body of water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's that, So, there's certain key things.
Yeah.
Certain key things. And even your flora, the fauna, your weeds in the water, things of that nature, the ones that rise up, all the algae, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it. So it's kind of cool to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, we don't do well in this kind of stuff. But like I said, every now and then, what the heck? You gotta. Who needs an ice pack on your face when you can just stick it outside? Yeah,
that's true.
But it's been at least 3 years, I think, of these real mild winters, which were nice in some respects. But then there's a lot of things that, because of cause and effect, that we had to deal with it, which should be better this year, because this is normal.
Yeah.
What we had the last few years was not normal. So
no, and the planet's always changing. It's been changing since the day it was conceived and slammed together, and it's always a fluid moment, even tilting on its axis. The polar caps, yada yada yada, all this, all that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to it. We just get to pick up all the glad tidings of good joy of the results every day we're alive. If you bake it down to that simple and stay loose, stay open to the fact nothing is constant. What was it? Henry David Thoreau said the only thing constant is change. Life gets frittered away by details, yada, 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 on Walden Pond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some folks sometimes come up with some good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, before I forget and the Alzheimer's curtain draws, I figured out how to travel with dogs that are sensitive without having to drug them. I just bought a carrier that was big enough that I can get in it with them, and they put us both in the hole.
Oh, jeez. What a sight that would be. Oh, my God.
Puppies at ease. I'm happy. It looked like that Trading Places movie.
A puppy fine,
guy.
But a big dog? Oh, God.
Yeah, well, you stay
we just
warmer
give Bob something for anxiety. That's all, you know.
What a picture that is in your mind.
Yeah, I know. Hey, and I figured out something. I've got an excellent surgeon, and the touch is everything, the technique. If you got Mongo in there wailing on you, I think it'll be just like a good car crash. You look like you bounced around inside the vehicle as it's tossing you around. I'm very fortunate for who I have, but I figured it out. Like, I felt a little less better. Today's the third day after it, and it is like a car crash. Your body trauma, just like a bruise. You get a bruise, and it develops more later, and then it takes time to decline. So I figured this out. I'm actually, though, the only pain meds I got is they gave me a prescription that I'm really not supposed to take because I'm on medication, diabetes. It'll tax out the liver and the kidneys. You got to be careful. And it gave me a prescription from 800 milligram one-shot pill ibuprofen. That's it. I've taken a couple of those. I'm lucky. I'm real lucky because we did 3 hours of high-tech, extensive surgical chair time Friday. And, I'm just grateful. I live in a place I have access to the care. And that's where it just simply begins and ends for me. And paying you off to be able to afford the care. There's a relationship with that. But, guys, it's like anything else. If we don't try to fix things, we screwed ourselves. Let's face facts, if I have to be blunt about it. Once we picked up a cadre of people that love us, care about us, are demented enough that like to have our presence with them, well, we're finished. Now we got to take better care of ourselves and stick around and address those needs with those loved ones. And so that's what we do. Anything we can fix it.
That's it.
The same thing. One of these days, Doc Norm's going to break ranks and do a colonoscopy countdown special. One of the easiest things you can do, and guys are terrified of it. No, I always want to play anal candid camera. Wrong. Do it.
Yeah, but it's important as you get older. So
I do that every Sunday here, Bob, with these two guys.
Bob,
I know, but at least they're clinically professional, Norm.
Yeah.
Bob, one of our listeners wants to ask a question. He's wondering if you're wearing the cone of shame. That would be from the Pope.
You can let Popus Delecti Irishman scaly guy know that the cone of shame fits wonderfully over a tinfoil hat. I'm a multi-layer guy, so we've got it all, But, God, you just reminded me of Get Smart, where they had the cone of silence or whatever.
Yeah.
And the one big dude, it always showed most of his body because he was so big or whatever, and they never showed his face. God, you guys are demented. What you bring up me?
We try.
Get off of me. Well, no, you don't try. You achieve. It's all good.
There you go.
But anyways, hey, bundle in, bundle up. I'm bummed out because I kind of wanted to go to the boat show to see the 150-year celebration of Lyman.
Lyman's?
Yeah.
That's extensive, but I'm not going to make it. I know better. And, what's a girl to do? I'll catch up with them. But just knowing that across from me, across from Castaway, is where the Lyman factory was, and it's shut down now as a restaurant, a hall place, last I knew. But Billy Lyman, the thought of him racing on Sandusky Bay in the 20s and 30s with his boats that he had built in Cleveland, and then taking the risk at the height of the Depression and having a guy he associated with that he rented space, I believe it, or steel or rubber company, excuse me, to move the operation to Sandusky. And Bill Lyman checked out in 55. But it was always something to get your hands on a pre-55 boat and think, maybe Bill touched this one as it was coming through the factory, because he always toured the factory. That Lyman Lake Erie legacy is just phenomenal, and it is something to look at. So let's shut me up. I'll issue a formal toodles. I didn't bite my tongue during this conversation. That was a grace. And, just keep it going, guys. And do me a favor. I don't mean to bring it up, but I do mean. I know. God bless him, Jay Reno Rita. I know he checked out in the wintertime.
Yeah, like about a week ago or so.
During
just recently.
Week. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many years are we missing him? Is it about 10 now?
14, I think.
It's going to be 13, I think. Yeah. Because that's our anniversary coming up in a couple weeks, so we'll have to think about that.
Well, that's where this show came from.
Yep.
And I'll be damned if I won't bring his memory up and cause a sadness. I mean, good knows Joe Keogh and he were ultra tighties. All he is, But
and
doggone
Jim Peters.
It. Oh, man, I forgot about the Peters.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he's hanging up.
Oh, yeah, he's doing good.
Okay, but it's like anything else. This is where the show came from. You men and Yash, you had the gall to keep the legacy alive.
Yeah, I didn't think we could do it. I thought I could do it for a week or two and look at all that time went by.
While.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that publicly because it needed to stay alive.
Yeah, we're lucky.
And it was quite amazing, so I had to mention that.
Good idea.
And
very
there's
good.
There's people that listen that don't even know about Jay.
Yeah.
It's been that long.
Sure.
Maybe do a Wastebook on it sometime if you haven't, because I'm not on Wastebook anymore after getting hacked and hijacked.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there it is. I had to say it.
Good.
And it's very rare I'm serious. So
Alrighty.
let's shut me up.
You
I'll
got
say
it.
Toodles again.
Alrighty.
And then I know those Irish people are gnawing at your door eventually.
Won't be
it's
long.
coming.
You got it.
All right, man.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Bob.
See you, Bob.
Heal well,
Thank
heal
you
well.
for
Heal
having
up.
me in.
Yeah, take care. Okay, bye-bye. And that, we got to take a break, and we got Fishing Report on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back.
Whether you're a novice or a well-seasoned angler, if you want that extra edge in catching more fish, you want one of the many species of Kodiak scent. Made from real bait fish, Kodiak fishing scents are made from pure freeze-dried bait. Freeze-drying enhances the scent considerably, making it the most potent fishing scent available to the fishermen today. It comes in many flavors, including shad, crayfish, salmon egg, and the most popular, minnow. Add the paste to your lures, it really sticks. And when a fish hits, it doesn't let go. And if you use tube jigs, try the tube injector. This handy syringe is made especially to be inserted into a tube jig. Kodiak fishing scents are now available online at Castaway.com. That's Castaway with a K.com. If you want to catch fish, you want Kodiak from Coulis.
Thanks for listening to the Inside the Great Outdoors podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share, shoot us an email at jcoulis@castaway.com. That's Castaway with a K. We'll share your comments with our audience on the following week's show. Thanks again for listening to Inside the Great Outdoors.
Welcome back. Listening to Inside the Great Outdoors. Time for the fishing report. Oh, real quickly.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Budweiser, so we got to put it in. I am at the age, he's 80 today, I am at the age where picking up a hottie at the club means buying a rotisserie chicken at Costco. So, okay, what's the report?
How could I follow that with a fishing report?
Pretty hard.
If anybody could do it, you could.
Fishing.
Okay.
Fishing report brought to you by Mogador Bait Tackle and
Ice
Marine
fishing.
Repair.
Ice fishing report.
And there is ice out there. But, and this is a big but. This is a little disclaimer. Be careful.
Because it's not good everywhere,
Even
on a given lake.
A lot of lakes still have thin spots.
Spots.
Because the little snow that we had insulated the lake, and the ice didn't build that well. It's only maybe 4.5 inches in spots.
So it's not uniform.
Right.
Okay.
And always have your safety gear with you and spud bar your way out. Spud bar, it's a big, heavy chisel that you hit the ice with as you're walking. And if it takes more than, or if it takes less than about 5 hits with your chisel, nice hard hits to go through, don't stay on that ice.
Wait.
I've seen guys walking out where it goes through in one punch.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
And that could be you going through in one step. So you have to be careful.
So what do you do when that happens?
You back off the same direction you came.
Okay.
Because that's
and go
ice
around.
Held you and go back.
How far would you go then?
Just keep spudding your way around until you find that thicker.
So you would go right or left?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what we did at Mogador, I was out at Mogador a couple times this week. Actually, three times. Because I took a couple days to rest my foot. But the ice was early in the week. It was about 3.5 to 4.5. And it pretty much stayed there with that little coating of snow on top. Mm-hmm. It was 4.5 pretty uniformly. There were some thinner spots out towards the middle of the bay we were fishing, and we were fishing right off the Ticknor Road boat ramp. That's Ticknor, Ticknor Road. And caught some nice fish. Caught a mix of bluegills, crappies, and perch. And biggest perch was 11. Biggest crappie was 11.5. Biggest bluegill was probably 9.5 inches. I caught a really nice red ear yesterday. It was about 9.5 inches.
Did you keep any?
I gave them to my buddy Jay and his dad. They had a little fish fry, and
good.
And then that was Friday, and then Saturday I gave them a couple of fish. I think I only kept 3 because I was having. Don't consider this a problem, but I caught a lot of bass yesterday.
Really?
I caught like 6 bass.
Really?
Wow.
Why?
And
what do you think?
There must have been a school of them that came in and were just sitting where I was at, and they'd come in and I'd catch these little 12, 13-inch bass, and I mean they're fun to catch.
Sure.
But fun little fight on light tackle, and now everybody says, "Well, what are you using? What are you using?" I use. And I have been using exclusively at Mogador in this spot a number 2 white Swedish pimple.
Really?
Tipped with maggots.
Why did you try that?
Because I used it at Chippewa.
Yeah.
And the crappies and the bluegills loved it there. And Bud Reiser, I need a Chippewa Lake report if you have one, because I'm thinking of going out there this week. Anyway, maybe later today if I can wake up from my nap. I don't know. The naps feel so good.
Yeah.
But that little white, it's the smallest one they make. It's a number 2, and you put a maggot on each hook. There's a little treble hook on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, those fish go crazy. Perch come flying up off the bottom. The bluegills come in and hit it. And at Mogador, you got to weed through the small ones.
Yeah.
The dinks.
Yeah.
Which obviously Joe and his dink comment. Going to make a comment because he's special and I'm not.
Don't forget it.
But the really nice crappies, really nice perch, and weeding through the little bluegills, you can get a nice fish pile going. I caught a nice bunch of fish.
So you got enough for a meal.
Oh yeah. Went one day with my son Nick and nephew Dominic, and we took our big pop-up shanty out there, and all three of us can fit in it.
Really?
And we had so much fun catching fish.
I bet when you have somebody around.
Dominic won the day. He caught the biggest crappie and the biggest perch.
Who gets picked on with the three?
It's consistently
everybody. Good. That's the fun part.
They were making fun of my foot. They were making fun of everything.
Good.
The lake was leaning my way,
You deserve it.
In the hole, the ice was leaning because I was sitting at the end. It was, just all sorts of stuff. I deserve it.
Do they razz you about the dinks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It's fun.
We have a lot of fun doing it. And even Dominic was saying this is the best ice fishing day he's ever had.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Good. How many do you think you caught?
I don't know. We kept 19 or something like that.
Wow.
He took them all, and him and my son, they cleaned them up and had a fish fry, and he said they tasted so good.
Good.
Out of that cold water. There's nothing like cold water bluegills and perch and crappies. They're so good.
Yeah.
But I've heard good reports coming from way out at East Harbor, up Michael Bray's way, which is out in off Sandusky Bay there.
Yeah.
And they're catching panfish out there, nice bluegills and perch and crappies. Inland lakes, Portage Lakes is doing well, Old State Park, and Nimisila, they're catching crappies there. Careful at Nimisila, watch the ice thickness out in the middle of the lake. Don't just go gallivanting around like everything's solid, because it's not. You have to be careful. Usually what I do if I'm by myself, I'll go where someone else is. Because if there are people out there, they walked out there, you generally follow the path that people have taken. That's what how I stay safer. And if I find some soft spots or soft ice, I get off of it rather quickly, because I don't want to dawdle around on the slushy ice.
Yeah.
Because when the water's coming up and it soaks into that snow, it makes the ice really heavy. And your added weight just might be enough to put it over the edge.
On a bad spot.
Yep. Even if you weigh 120 pounds.
Yeah.
And you're not well insulated like me.
Yeah.
So, but I have my safety gear. I got some rope in my ice fishing suit, my float suit and everything. Yeah. So
your new one.
Yeah.
Good.
And I love it. It's a Striker Hardwater series.
Is it one piece?
Two piece. It's got the bib overalls and then a jacket.
Yeah.
And it's bulky and it's big and heavy.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to get in.
Getting into it is difficult.
Right.
But once you get into it, you get used to it. And
it's fine.
Yesterday, sitting out on Mogador, because it was warm.
Yeah.
It was like upper 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the temperature started to drop.
Yes.
And it started to snow. And the wind switched from the southwest to the north.
Oh.
And that wind was howling.
And it drops it
And it was
fast.
blowing Jay's dad's shanty, blew him down the lake. It was
really?
He kept calling me, "Hey Carl, you want to come in the shanty?" And I said, "It's not for me to warm up. He just wanted me to hold the shanty down."
Wow.
Use me as an anchor. But I was sitting on the ice in that coat and turned my back to the wind, and it's sort of like wearing an ice shanty. No problem at all. Well insulated.
Good.
Well, protected.
And safe.
And safe. And waxworms and maggots were the ticket. There are some crappies being caught at Old State Park at night using minnows. I've also seen some guys going out to Mosquito and ice fishing, and they said the ice around the shorelines is thinner than the ice in the middle.
Really?
So, but still, be careful when you go out. Take your safety gear and watch your step and check your ice thickness. Even if you have to drill a hole as you're walking out, check your ice thickness.
Yeah.
And
when you think about it,
number one.
It's water. It's yeah, it freezes and gets hard, but it's still just water.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't walk on water unless you're special.
Unless you're special.
Have you heard of anybody catching any smelt anywhere?
No, but I was watching a video from Maine
on
YouTube. They were smelt fishing. I saw somebody in Michigan was trying to catch him. He said he could look down the hole and see him, but they wouldn't bite.
Huh.
So I was thinking about that the other day because with this weather, we're thinking about taking a trip up to Presque Isle Bay in Erie, Pennsylvania. And there was one year we went up there when Nick and Sam were little, and we went up there, and there were so many smelt in the bay. You couldn't drop your jig down without hooking smelt. Wow. And they would come up to the hole and fill the hole.
You could
we used to scoop them out with the strainer.
Where was that?
Presque Isle Bay. We had bags of smelt. Oh, it was so nice because I drove home and I was dead tired, and Nick and my son Sam, they took the scissors. I showed them how to clean them, and they cleaned all of those smelt. And my wife fried them up, and I woke up and had fried smelt. They're so good.
When was that?
I used to get them right off of Edgewater here, right by the docks off of Edgewater.
Yeah, we caught a bunch up off of the short wall at Fairport one year. Me and Mark Mazzarella.
Yeah,
he's is it Mazzarella?
Yeah. Oh,
I can't remember if it's Mazzarella or I'm thinking of a different Mark.
Oh.
I can't remember names. I remember first names.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. But man, what a great memory. A lot of great memories with that.
I used to walk along the wall there, and I still have one of those big nets, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I used to walk along and scoop them up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was good. Okay, well, time to take a short break, and we'll be back with storytelling, and we'll get to Doug after a bit here, after we get some stories told. So we'll take a short break and be back.
Never had no money, and they always told the truth. Daddy didn't need no little toys. Mommy didn't need no little boys. Won't you tell me where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone?
Welcome to Inside the Great Outdoors storytelling time.
You're special.
You're darn right. And don't forget it.
It's a good thing this isn't a podcast. The people would see everything and hear everything.
Gee.
Yeah.
We'd be a deep.
But talking about ice fishing and things
and things,
I remember, boy, I used to love to go to Alaska it would be April, and because you could go anywhere you wanted on a snowmobile. You leave camp, you go down to the lake. Well, first of all, you fly in, usually in a plane, land on the ice, and get up to the camp, and you got to use a snowmobile to get from the lake to the cabin that's up on the hill. But when you get out, you got to be careful, because when you step off the snowmobile, you could be up to your waist. It's pretty hard to walk when snow is up to your waist.
A little bit.
So you go to an area where hopefully they padded it down and, made a trail to the cabin. And then they put you, okay, get up in the morning, and here's your snowmobile, and I hope you know how to run it. It's easy to run it. It's hard to know how to run it, especially because of when to give it the gun, and don't go slow, because if you go slow, you're in trouble, whether it be going over open water or on ice that's getting mucky and, as it's called, rotten, or just on a hill where you better gun it. If you stop going up a steep hill, you're stuck. you got to somehow, if you're going the wrong way up a hill, and you're going up the hill and it loses traction, you're in trouble, because before that happens, you need to turn it around and go back down, because to get off up to your waist and try to lift it around so you can go down the hill. Or if you bury it and the tracks are buried, that's a real booger. Oh, man. So there's a lot to learn, knowing really how to drive one in those conditions. But as it got later in the season, and then it would be like 50 degrees out. Yeah, it was nice to be out, but when the ice, it is the one sight I'll never forget. It's late in the evening. Well, it's early in the morning. It's good. You go anywhere, but then after the sun's beating on it, later in the day, then it could be a whole different world. When you drive on the ice, and it's like driving on a carpet that's on a wave, and you see the ice pack go up and down. That is scary. And I'll never forget the one time the guide was ahead of me, and I saw him riding a roller coaster on the ice, and then boom, 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 and he stops. Now I got to figure out how to get there to get him. And so I went over to the side, and I'm okay sitting on it, but I try to get off, and you go right through. Mm-hmm. Because of the wider area and everything, the ice machine could stay there, but you can't. And then somehow he got to me, but now there's two of us, and I'm going to let him drive because he's experienced, and that was spooky as could be, because trying to find an area, I mean, you can't go every 2 foot and check it. You got to just go and hope. Mm-hmm. And so we got all the way back to camp, and then was kind of cool. So the next day, the pilot, who is really good, he could go anywhere in a snowmobile, and he came, and they took a long rope, and they had at the end a special, like a 10-foot bungee cord at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And they somehow get up to the vehicle, because it's half out of the water and half up. And they they go early. It's not so bad because it refreezes at night. They hook up the bungee and the long rope, and they spring it out. They get going, and it stretches that bungee cord, and it literally shoots out of the hole. And then we were able to get it back. But that was some trip. I mean, there's a lot more. Maybe I'll continue it next week. But that was an experience, driving over open water by yourself, that you better do it or you're stuck there. So that was a lot of good things. So, and that's a story sticking to it. Continued next week. I just saw a good thing on the internet. 3 things that never come back: time, words, and opportunity. 3 things you never lose. You should never lose is calmness, honesty, and hope. 3 things that are truly valuable: love, respect, and trust. 3 things in life that are uncertain is success, power, and wealth. 3 things that define a person: worth ethic, integrity, and achievement. And 3 things that destroy a person: alcohol, arrogance,
and misspelling, mispronunciation,
and malice. And 3 things, the hardest things to say: I love you, help me, forgive me. So it should be a 4th one.
No.
I apologize. That don't happen anymore. So anyways.
Special.
Yeah. And
unless you're Mr. Special.
There you go. Let's go to Doug. Good morning, Doug.
Hey.
Hello, Doug.
Did he hang on?
He's in there listening. Doug. Hang on, Doug. Are you still there?
Hopefully he'll call back.
Maybe. Wait a little bit. He's been waiting a long time. And he probably walked away and he probably doesn't hear it.
Getting a cup of coffee.
Or he forgot about it. And
no, he probably walked away to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, we'll put him on hold and see. Maybe maybe he'll come back. We'll see.
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah, ice is a strange thing, you know?
Well, that's what people don't understand when ice is formed.
Yeah.
You know, yes, it will cover a lake, but the water still moves underneath. And the ice moves. It's always moving. That's why it cracks. There's stress cracks.
Yeah.
There's heaving. It'll heave up. It'll pull apart, and you'll have open areas in the because it's always moving. It's like it's alive or something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't move fast usually.
Yeah.
You know, and it's especially a big lake like Lake Erie. You have to be ultra careful because the currents out there are really fast and ripping, and it will undermine the ice even if it's 2 feet thick in one spot. 10 feet away from that or 2 feet away from that, it could be an inch thick, and you can go through and you're gone. There have been, guys that have been on two-wheelers or a snowmobile, like you were saying, two guys, and they'll just go right through and they're gone.
Yep.
Because they sink and the current takes them under the ice, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ice is a chemical reaction, and it's always reacting.
Yeah.
You know?
It's always growing or it's always shrinking, and, that's one of the cool things is you go out in the evening. Like if you went out on the ice tonight, I would guarantee you don't have to be out there. You can go near a lake. Oh, Doug's back? Go ahead. Take Doug.
Oh, okay. Let's get to that. My old Doug.
Hey, I went in the store, got some maggots, and I came back, and maybe I missed the call, but I'll be brief.
Yeah.
I drove over there, 305 by the dam of Mosquito Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to drill some holes in a little bit here, but there's got to be a conservative. I'm talking about shanties now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them right now, all the way towards 88. Several dozen shanties right in the middle of the lake. They're all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Good.
There.
The report I saw, it was about 4 inches around the edges, and then out towards the middle where those shanties are, it was 6 inches. So
and there's 2 ATVs out there too. I see parked.
Wow.
So I don't know how much an ATV weighs. Maybe you guys do, but
they usually say 6 to 8 is it for ATV. 6 or 7 inches was enough for an ATV or a snowmobile.
Yeah.
And then a car is like 8 or 9 inches.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't drive a car out there.
No.
Not my car. Maybe your car.
Yeah. Right.
But I went in this little store, and I heard you say about the number 2 Pinmans. They have a 3, no 2.
Mm-hmm.
And but they have some. I didn't get any, but they had some. I don't think it's Euro tackle, but they have like a little mini fish with it comes with a single hook.
Yeah.
It's like a 64th ounce, or you have the option of putting a treble on there.
Right.
But I have some homemade jigs, so that should suffice me for what I'm about to do. Catch some bluegills, my one bay I go to.
Good.
Hopefully they're in.
Good.
Excellent.
So, but
yeah.
And what about? I heard you. I didn't hear it completely, but what's going on at Nemisilla?
The Campground Cove is good. There have been some guys out of the C1 parking lot off the boat ramp and to the north end, and there have been some guys fishing the cove right off the Main Street boat ramp out towards the old roadbed there and the bridge there. So it's a good 4 inches there, and with the cold last night and coming this week, it's going to tighten up and get to be really good. So.
Well, I was just thinking, where that bridge, that little dinky bridge, it took them like 45 years to build.
Mm-hmm.
It took forever.
Yeah.
But I know there's current there, but if around there, that seems to be weedy with some drop-offs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
out in front of there, I would think would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Just watch the ice, though, because the current.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Well,
have a good time.
Yep. Good luck.
See ya.
All right.
Thanks
Okay.
for calling.
And Jim asked, what's on my back on the my website. That's my big favorite, big Kodiak brown bear. So we'll take a short break, and it's time for good news on the other side.
If some of our teenage thrill seekers really want to go out and get a thrill, let them go up into the Northwest and tangle with the grizzly bear, the polar bear, and the brown bear. We'll get that cleanse of the soul.
Welcome back. Time for some good news with Good News Kiddo. How's it going there, kiddo?
Doing well. Ready to wrap up the program here with some good news. Happy birthday, Budweiser.
Yes, 80. 80. He's trying to catch up to me. Yeah. Yep.
Happy birthday, Bud.
Yeah.
Hey, there is a program coming up on Tuesday if you're looking for something to do and or you're interested in venomous snakes in Ohio. Doug Wynn, he's a herpetologist that is going to be putting on a talk and demonstration at Penitentiary Glen in Kirtland there. I don't know if you've ever been there before. It's a really cool venue.
No.
Yeah, that's where they have that's where their rehab center is for raptors and critters. But they also have a big, huge classroom, and they have a number of events there throughout the year. And it's just free. It's all free, 7 p.m. on Tuesday at Penitentiary Glen. And he's actually going to have some venomous snakes with him from Ohio. At least timber rat.
Those are beautiful
but
snakes.
But they're kind of focused on Massasauga, which is native to the northeast part of the state there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Pretty shy little rattlesnake that nobody really sees very often because they are pretty reclusive and they're not real plentiful. So anyway, cool program. Hey, from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, there was a poaching case that they wrapped up this week. 3 ne'er-do-wells have entered pleas of guilty and were fined and found guilty for poaching violations down in Knox County. You remember the other week I said, we've got hunters from every state in the union here.
Yeah.
One of these poachers was from South Carolina. So
really?
There's a spin on out of state that's not so good. But the last one entered, the guy from South Carolina entered a plea to 12 counts of deer and turkey violation.
Wow.
And he ended up forfeiting all of his hunting stuff and paid close to $5,000 in fines and restitution and had his hunting privileges revocated for 3 years. And there were 2 others in the group. They were more local, but they got hit just as hard with fines and restitution.
Good.
So that's good. And so hats off to the ODNR for
because I think in the past they thought, it's no big deal. Well,
they changed that a few years ago. With that law, they put a financial number on. Yeah, because before they can measure the amount of fine based on how much or how big your
Because before it was no big thing. It was the judges thought it's not that important, and they learned that it is. So that's good.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend down that way, She was a moonshiner's daughter, but I love her still.
Oh, my God. Well,
that's a good one.
You wouldn't
I got to remember that.
What I got to put up with these 2 guys.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Actually, that's a great dad joke there.
That is a classic. Wow.
Good. What else we got? Got some culture?
Ohio,
go ahead.
Well, real quick, I want to recognize someone from Gallipolis, Ohio, Shannon Mays. Shannon is a middle school teacher, and he is involved in Trout Unlimited Teens, which is a program that takes kids all over the country to hunt and fish.
Cool.
He's been hunting and fishing his whole life, and he decided, you know what? I've been taking kids out for a while. Let's get organized doing this. So, can you, again, we talked about it before, in middle school, having the opportunity to actually get out with a seasoned, Nimrod and fish or hunt. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
So thanks, Shannon, for doing
that's
what
awesome.
Oh, yeah, because I remember I was lucky I had an uncle, and he was a baker, so he worked. They started like at 9 o'clock at night and worked all night. But then he was free during the day. And on Thursdays, every Thursday, we would go to Aurora Lake fishing.
Joe would eat donuts, and his uncle would fish.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And then sit there and wait for the phone call to see if we were going to be able to go with the weather because of the rain. And that was such a thrill. And you don't have that. My mother on Sunday, she would take me near where I live to Tinker's Creek, drop me off with my little chair. I had this little chair, and she'd leave me there, like, say, at noon and come, like, about 5 o'clock and just leave me there. And you hardly
shake
caught
her head
any.
because he would still be there.
Yeah.
I remember the sign, free to good home.
That's right.
Yeah.
He had a sign
and
on the back of the chair.
I would be there and hardly caught anything, and I didn't mind just to be able to go.
No.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
There's more good news good news with Aurora Lake. They're actually turning the city of Aurora bought a whole lot of Aurora Lake.
You mean Geauga Lake?
Geauga.
Yeah,
that's what
Geauga Lake.
And they're going to turn it into a park with public access and all sorts of stuff.
Think it'll be public access?
It's public access, Joe.
Oh, my.
It's going to be public.
Oh, boy, I know.
would love to go fishing.
I saw bass in there you would not believe, and they wouldn't bite. You'd see them cruising. I'm talking 7-8 pounders, wouldn't bite.
There was a spot on the side of Geauga Lake where you could like sneak back in there and fish.
Yeah.
And big bluegills, huge carp in there.
Oh, yeah.
Crappies, bass.
I never caught crappies there, but big bluegills, big bass. But
just really nice. More good news.
Yeah.
On the weather front. Low tonight 2. Which means lots of ice formation.
Tomorrow.
Now, what I was going to say, when it gets that cold, if you go to a lake, you don't even have to get out of your nice warm car. You just roll down your window a little bit, and you will hear the lake making ice.
Oh,
and it is
singing.
The coolest sound you've ever heard. It's this ping, and the ice sings to you. It's such a neat sound.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it. It's really, really neat. And it's even better if you're out on the ice because you can actually feel it cracking.
Yeah.
And
so that is not a bad thing.
That is a great thing.
Because I remember hearing that in Alaska. You hear them cracks and you think, ooh, is that okay?
They love it.
Okay.
I love that sound.
Oh, good.
But anyway, there you go.
Okay, how about culture, Joe?
Yeah, this comes from Paul Theroux. He is an author and travel writer. He said, one thing about cold weather, it brings out the statistician in everyone.
There you go.
There you go. Great. Well, I hope you have a good week, warm week, and safe week, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
Yeah, we'll probably just hunker down here over the next couple of days, keep the burning. Yep.
Yeah, you're going to have the fireplace going a lot. So, all righty. Well, have a wonderful week. Good talking to you.
All righty.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, I've been burning a lot of... It was interesting. Joe from Northfield Fireplace told me it's better to burn rounds. And I'm thinking, it don't make sense. Why? Well, I figured it out because I've been doing... I brought in a whole bunch. I stuck on either side of my fireplace. When I built the fireplace, 2 cubby holes. And on the one side, we filled it with the splits, and on the other side with the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And why it works, they not only burn better, but they last longer. And invariably, they have a gas pocket. And you hear this jet, and you see you see the blue flame coming out the end. It's really cool because it's really sizzling.
And they're hotter.
Right. And you just hear it like a little jet. But it's cool. But Northfield knows what they're talking about.
Yes, they do.
Great place to go check for a fireplace or a wood burner or all any of that, or the other little stuff for cooking and all of that. They got it all. And they're very, very helpful. So a good place, as well as all of our other sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Say, you name it, and go see them and tell them that you appreciate their advertising.
The Eggman will be coming.
What's that?
The Eggman will be coming.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
With lots of boxes.
Yeah, we got boxes finally for the eggs. So, yeah. Doc will be on his way here shortly, so they'll be there in a bit. And get out there and make some memories. You never know what kind you could make, especially with these cold temperatures, and it's important to make them. You see somebody in the store.
Listen to the lake.
There you go. Listen to the lake sing. Yeah. And tell the girl at the checkout, you have a pretty smile. Just watch her eyes.
Have you been allowed to go back to Giant Eagle?
Well, see. Now,
Mr. Special?
Yeah. They all know I'm special. And now I'm glad you guys finally realized it. So, but make a phone call to somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Win-win for everybody, and make them smile. And remember, a day without a smile is a day wasted. The older we get, the less chance we have to be not smiling. So, got to be doing that. And as my mother always told me, Joey, don't you ever take any wooden nickels.
You've been listening to Inside the Great Outdoors with Joe Kulis, Joe Keogh, and Dr. Norm. Join us every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AM 1420 The Answer. Download the podcast of today's show and previous broadcasts at IGOradio.com. Follow the show on Facebook and get interactive with the cast and crew. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, 7 a.m., right here on AM 1420 The Answer.